To all my truckers and truck drivers out there, the most simple way to turn a simple roadside DOT inspection into something horrible is with one sentence. And most drivers say it without even realizing it. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cole. I'm a state DOT cop and I drop videos every single week to help you stay compliant, to help you stay in the know, and most of all, to help you stay rolling. Today we're going to be talking about something I see every single week on the road, and no, it's not a violation, it's not a mechanical issue, but it's more like a simple reaction drivers have the moment that we approach their rigs. And as always, trust me, I'm not here to bash anybody. This is all in good educational fun, because I know for a fact that drivers have long days, crazy schedules, crazy routes, and a lot of times they are pressed for time. I've done hundreds of inspections and trust me, I get it. You're tired, you're on a deadline, you don't want to get pulled over. But what you as a driver say within the first 5 seconds of that interaction with the DOT cop can literally change the trajectory of everything. The number one thing that drivers say that immediately makes inspections way worse, they make inspections take longer, they make inspections more detailed, and honestly just more frustrating for both of us, for both parties, is when we are approaching a truck and before we can even introduce ourselves, a driver is saying things like this: "Why are you pulling me over? I wasn't doing anything." That one simple sentence right there makes almost every warning flags and many troopers or DOT cops' head go right up. And no, it's not because you're guilty, because we don't know that, but it's more like because you're already defensive before we can even introduce ourselves. And that right there pretty much affects how the entire inspection goes moving forward. So why does this phrase even cause problems? Now, let me break this down so that it makes pretty good sense. Whenever any driver hits me with that line right away, the "why me, what did I do wrong" type of lines, it pretty much tells me two things right away. Either one, maybe that driver is a little bit tense, or two, some drivers are expecting troubles or they know that something is wrong already. And in law enforcement, whether it's DOT, state police, or highway patrol, we are trained to pay really close attention to all behavioral cues. Now, this is something that you as a driver may not know about all police out there, and I do not expect you to. But there are things that'll help you to know as a driver that'll help your whole inspection process or dealing with DOT in general, no matter the situation. If you want a solid checklist and a great DOT survival reference guide that you can keep in your truck at all times to help you stay compliant and squared away, I have a really great and useful one linked in the description down below. Go ahead, click it, check it out. This isn't about assuming guilt. It's just about situational awareness. And when someone becomes super defensive before a conversation can even start, it can mean several things, but it usually means they've either had a bad experience with police in the past, or like I mentioned before, they think something is wrong and they might be nervous about it. And both of these situations push me as an inspector to just slow things down and take a really careful approach with things. Again, this is not to punish the driver, but it's for clarity and safety, and making sure nothing important is missed, because I will admit I don't run into very aggravated people on the road, but whenever I do, it does sometimes make you start missing small things that you usually wouldn't miss because you don't want to hold them up, you're getting annoyed that they're getting annoyed, and it just goes downhill from there. As we all know, I gotta give you the real life examples. So I'm gonna give you an example of something that happened with me a couple months ago, and I'm not gonna say any names, I'm not gonna say any companies or DOT numbers or anything like that, but this is an experience that I need to share with you all. So I stopped a driver for a very simple reason. His DOT number lettering that you stick onto the side of your truck, they were like peeling off and you could barely see it. It was pretty much unreadable. Now that's not some crazy crime or some arrestable offense. It's not even a massive violation. It's literally something this driver could have fixed at the next truck stop. But as soon as I got up to this guy's door, before I can even introduce myself or let him know why I had stopped him, he completely snapped. He literally said to me, "Man, why are you bothering me? Don't you have anything better to do? There are people committing serious crimes all over the world and you're choosing to stop me." That was what he said almost word for word. Again, before I can even get a word out of my mouth when I approach his vehicle. And me, I pause, I stay professional because I'm not going to give that same energy back even if it's given to me. And I let him know exactly why I stopped him. But his attitude still didn't change. Every single question that I asked him, that's just standard procedure, was met with like a challenge or him being super offended. Every single request for his paperwork came with a super snarky or smart remark. Again, all for no reason. And here's what ended up happening. And I want drivers to listen to this carefully because this is just reality. If this driver had just stayed calm for 20 seconds, I was most likely going to give him a verbal warning and pretty much get him back to the road in like 5 to 10 minutes. But his attitude forced me to slow down to see if anything else was wrong or to find out why he was acting this way. And then of course I ended up finding a couple more violations because I was more thorough. So this stop pretty much went from what could have been a 5-minute stop all the way up to a 35-minute stop, all because of that driver's behavior. Now you might be wondering, why does that question even trigger a longer inspection? And here's the psychology behind it. And again, this is from an inspection standpoint, not from a judgmental standpoint. When a driver comes in super hot, it tells me that I need to communicate more clearly, explain more details, verify more items, and just keep the interaction slower just for safety reasons for everybody. Again, this isn't because I'm punishing anyone. I'm not that kind of person. But because defensive behavior is super predictable, and I've seen it over my career where someone's being defensive and you're not making a big deal of it, and all of a sudden, okay situation goes sour like this. You watching this right now, I want you to ask yourself this. Have you ever just had a super stressful day where your reaction with another person came out way meaner or way stronger than you ever wanted it to? Yeah, of course you have. We all have. So as inspectors, we don't take it personally. Well, I don't take it personally, and we're trained not to take things personally. We just pretty much adjust how we conduct that inspection. But if you want the smoothest, fastest inspection possible, and you want the least amount of back and forth and tension, then that opening line really matters so much. This is something along the line of what you should say instead of being defensive. Because drivers do always ask me, well, I don't want to be rude, but what should I say then? Here's one of the best and one of the most simple options out there. Good afternoon, officer. How's everything going today? Or if that officer or trooper asks you for something, you can literally just say, no problem. Do you need anything else from me? Those two things that I just said can come off calm, professional, and short. You're not even giving too much. You're just being normal. No attitude, no guilt, no confrontation. And here's what that signals to us as an inspector. You're willing to work with us. You understand the process. You care about your job. And most of all, we can get through this efficiently, which in the end is really all we want for each other. This type of tone actually shortens the inspection the majority of the times. And just another quick story time to where a driver was pretty polite and the inspection went very smooth. I stopped someone a couple weeks ago, and once I approached his truck and I explained who I was, he literally said, hey officer, how's your day going? What do you need from me? Just let me know. And that right there was awesome. He wasn't overly friendly, he wasn't fake, and it wasn't forced. He was just calm, respectful, and that inspection was done within like 15 minutes. My drivers out there, so I want you to think about this for a second, and if you're comfortable enough, drop your responses down in the comments. What's the first thing you say when a DOT cop walks up to your truck or trooper or whatever law enforcement may be in contact with you? Is it polite? Is it irritated? Is it defensive? Or is it something you say without even thinking? And I only ask that because so many drivers out there don't realize their default reactions until someone else points it out to them. And that's only natural because if we're doing something, we know ourselves best, so we may not see that as being wild, but someone else may see our interactions and be like, hey man, you should probably cool it down a little bit. And again, I'm not here to judge you. I've seen every reaction in the book. I genuinely want to know what y'all say when you're approached by DOT cops. Now, I mentioned before that DOT inspectors don't take it personal, and I do want to explain that. When a driver reacts defensively, we don't take it personal. We don't assume you're a bad driver. We don't assume you're hiding something, and we don't assume that you're a problem. In most cases, I honestly chalk it up to stress, me not knowing that someone's having a bad day, weather, long hours, frustrations, and sometimes just bad timing. Every single driver has been there, and I understand that. But we still do have to adjust how we run the inspection because our job is to help keep proper control of the environment and keep everyone safe. So not because I meet someone who is up here means I'm going to be all the way up there too. Even though sometimes, unfortunately, that is necessary. Some drivers out there get defensive because they are afraid that they're going to get in trouble. Some drivers are like that because they've had bad experiences in the past. And some drivers out there are like that because they have been treated unfairly in the past. So again, everyone sort of has their own reasons. All of those reasons are valid and all of those reasons are very understandable. But here's the truth. Being calm and professional does way more for you in a positive way than being defensive. It speeds things up, it reduces tension, it prevents misunderstandings, and honestly, it makes us want to help you even more. It's just human nature. Someone's being nice and reasonable to you, it makes you want to work with them better. Right now, I'm going to give you 5 tips that all drivers out there can use to help inspections go a lot smoother. 1 is just to keep your tone neutral. 2, let the inspector finish their intro and introduction, who they are and why they're stopping you, please. 3, answer questions directly and simply. 4, try to have your documents ready or in that binder like I always say. And 5, don't assume that you're in trouble. This is a big one. Don't assume, just wait until we say what we have to say. The majority of inspections out there start routine. Despite what so many people out there think, inspectors are not out there to get you. How I like to put it, if there's not a violation there, there's nothing for me to try to get you on. And all in all, most inspections go a lot smoother when the first 10 seconds of that interaction is smooth. So let's try to keep that smooth together. So here's my final advice after doing a ton of inspections. If the first thing out of your mouth is super defensive, they can set a negative tone for the rest of the inspection. If the first thing out of your mouth is calm and cooperative, you're usually back to the road much faster. It's not about being perfect, it's not about kissing up, it's just about being respectful and keeping the interaction smooth. And like I said earlier in the video, 99% of drivers already do an amazing job at this. It is rare that I ever run into a bad situation on the road. Most drivers are super respectful, and I am very respectful to them as well. Drivers, I'm gonna leave you with one major question that I really want you to answer. What's one thing you really wish inspectors understood better about drivers? Comment it down below. Until next video, stay safe, keep rolling.